track day with my 701 this weekend to have some fun and practice for an upcoming Supermoto USA race, which will be held at this track. This track features a great mix of challenging corners and is technical enough for a 701 to really challenge sport bikers. There is seriously nothing more fun than to get passed on the straight by an experienced instructor on a sports bike, to then catch up to him 2 turns later and power slide past him on the outside. But more on that later, let's rewind this tape. So my current setup is that I have a toy hauler RV, which is essentially a recreational vehicle with a garage for your toys. Thus the name toy hauler. Inside I can store 2 bikes easily, and that is usually what I bring to track days. So depending on which bike I need, I transport the correct bike with my car and trailer to the toy hauler, and then swap out one of the bikes. I then park the car and trailer there, and am on my way. Now with the toy hauler, I camp at the track, and usually one of my buddies bring a grill so we can have a barbecue in the evening. Sundown at Thunderhill is always gorgeous. I went to fill up the 701 right before the sun had gone down behind the horizon, and then after that went right to sleep. My morning routine at the track is almost always the same. Make some coffee, gotta have that, then check the suspension settings, reset the zip tie on the front fork so that I know how much travel I use, then put on the warmers if I'm using them and check the tire pressure. After that, it's time to go to the registration and get the bike inspected by the track day providers. I'm riding in A group, so I have to wait 2 sessions before I can go out. Now it was finally my time to go out. This session of the day I like to take it really easy, especially this time since I'm on street tires, which are not on warmers. Street tires are usually completely warmed up after 2 laps, so the first session and especially the first 2 laps I go really slow. Today it was unusually cold at this track in the morning, only around 15 degrees centigrade or 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Later in the day it would be around 31°C or 88°F. Because of the cold temperatures in the morning, I set the tire pressure of 4 psi lower than the pressure I would use later in the day. Lower pressure means more heat in the tire. I had some fun battles with sport bikers already in the first session. In this session I always try to just have some fun, not focus too much on lines or braking or anything like that. I just go around and generally have a good time. I came back from the session with a big smile on my face. In session 2 I had more great battles with sport bikers out there. Now it was time for session 3, where I start getting a little bit more serious. Here I'm experimenting with different lines just to see how much drive I can get out of the corners, and also understand where I can get past and where I can block other riders from passing me. In the last session I start to hone in on the one line that I like and see how fast I can go. For some reason I like to drop one hand beside me on the straights when riding Supermoto. I guess it helps with relaxing my wrist, but really I don't have a good explanation for why I do it. Usually people ask me if I'm dropping banana peels like in Mario Kart or something. I guess that's where I got it from.
We be faster than Django.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
In the last laps I do for the day, I always slow down a bit, simply because when I'm tired I don't have the same reaction speed and generally get a little bit more sloppy. After that last session it was time to pack up, take a quick shower in the RV and head on home. This track day was a great experience and I felt like I could take a podium position in the Supermoto USA race coming up here. If you have never been to a track day before, I think you should try it out. Tonight I'll be thinking about the lines in my dreams. Over and out.